Imagine waking up tomorrow in another world. A colorful place full of magical creatures, epic adventures, and a destiny that feels like it was written just for you. Sounds amazing, right? Like an RPG starting from scratch, and you're the main character. But here's the catch that ruins the fantasy. What if every time you failed, you died? Felt every stab, every blow? And then were thrown back to a save point, forced to carry all those memories alone. That's exactly how Subaru lives, the main character of ReZero. And I promise you this, if you stick with me till the end, you'll uncover some deep truths about yourself. Things that might change how you look at your mistakes, your pain, and even your fear of failure. Because Subaru's story isn't just about magic or fantasy. It's about me and you, our insecurities, our need to be seen, loved, accepted, and the heavy weight we carry when we feel we're not good enough. Think about this for a second. Subaru had a normal life in our world. He went to school, tried to impress his dad, who was this bright, charismatic guy, almost like a local superhero. And Subaru, he just wanted to be like him. But the more he tried, the clearer it became that he couldn't. That started digging a hole inside him. His insecurity grew like weeds, choking every attempt he made to shine naturally. Then he's transported to this new world, and Subaru gets what any of us would call the ultimate power. Turning back time by dying. Sounds like a superpower, right? A try again button. But here's where the horror sets in. He feels everything. He remembers every death, every scream, every tear. And worse, he can't tell anyone. It's a burden so heavy it isolates him, even when he's surrounded by friends. I want you to really think about that. How many times have you felt the same way? With pain, anxiety, memories no one else knows about. Smiling on the outside, but shattered inside. Subaru lives this on an extreme level. Deep down, it's just a mirror of what we all go through. He tries to cope by being the savior, but that takes its toll. Today, I want to show you how carrying the world breaks you, and how to flip the script with self-compassion, courage, and an honest look at who you are. Have you ever stopped to think about what it's like to carry an invisible backpack full of stones and have to smile every day? That's exactly what Subaru does. With every loop, he feels the weight of failure. He's been tortured, betrayed, watched friends die, often all alone, because he can't tell anyone his secret. This backpack adds to what he's carried since childhood. Low self-esteem and that desperate need to please his dad, always trying to be enough even while feeling worthless. When the power to restart comes into play, it seems like a gift, but it turns into a curse. The return by death makes him relive every traumatic and emotional death. Imagine having every nightmare repeat itself with no end in sight. The result is anxiety, insomnia, PTSD. Even so, he pretends he's okay so he won't worry others. Subaru tries to handle everything on his own, even knowing he can't, building a shield he calls bravado to hide his fragility. The worst part is that when things go wrong, he blames himself to the very end. Every death, every failure feels like saying, "I'm not good enough." This thought shapes how he sees himself. A spiral called cognitive distortion that makes the negative bigger, and every mistake feel like an earthquake in his soul. In moments of literal pain, in Arc 6, Subaru even hurts himself just to feel alive, trying to tell the difference between real pain and nightmare. This shows deep psychological trauma. Think about it. How many times have you felt this way too, even if just a little? Felt anxious because you couldn't sleep, or had to fake strength while feeling broken inside? Subaru just takes it to the extreme, but the psychology is the same. And realizing this can set you free. Plus, emotional contagion is real. Subaru absorbs what's around him, feels alone because no one else feels what he feels, but can't connect only to his own feelings. The message is that when we try to be too strong, we're often just wearing a mask. Those false bravados keep us from falling apart, and that needs to be recognized. Subaru realizes this when he meets people who, even without answers, just show up. Like Rem, who listened without judging and gave him space to cry. That's real healing, A simple "I'm here with you" can take away thousands of invisible stones. For you, admitting you're tired is already a huge step. Sometimes, all we need is to hear it's okay to feel that way. Subaru carries a savior complex, that urgent need to fix everything, to be the hero everyone depends on. But the truth is, this heroism often comes from a void inside him. He tries to prove his worth through others, like an athlete who only feels like a winner if he earns medals for his team. And every time he fails, it breaks him emotionally. This complex comes from childhood, from wanting to fill the admiration he had for his dad, and the need for social validation. In the new world, this need only grows stronger. Every rescue, every sacrifice, feels like a "I saved you," and through that, he tries to find his place. But relying on others' approval means that when the "thank you" doesn't come, exhaustion hits hard. This constant urgency leads him down destructive patterns. He uses return by death as a crutch to fix everything, repeating failures until he's drained. And the cost. It worsens his anxiety, chronic stress, and mental burnout. The truth is, deep down, he was just a teenager with low self-esteem. Even before the isekai, he struggled with anxiety and feeling useless. But in this magical universe, he's thrown into a reality where pain is magnified and failures replayed, right in his face. And from this chaos comes self-awareness. Subaru starts to see his motivations and flaws, his over-idealization of Emilia, his desperate need to be accepted, and his drive to save everyone, even if it destroys him inside. It was Rem, by confronting him honestly, who helped him see the flaw in this compulsive heroism. Through this process, he experiences moments of deep vulnerability. He doesn't allow himself to break down, but little by little he opens up. He cries, acknowledges his trauma, admits he can't solve everything. The turning point comes when he admits, to himself and to others, the weakness in his emotional system. That's the key moment. Subaru begins to understand he doesn't have to carry the world alone. He sees the value of collective help, of mutual support. And that's the turning point. Realizing that being human means sharing the journey with those who walk beside you. This shows in his changed attitude. He moves from a lone hero to a present partner. He asks for help, admits his limits, listens. And that doesn't make him weak. On the contrary, it gives him real, sustainable strength. The big lesson? Carrying unrealistic expectations, like saving everyone, leads straight to burnout. Heroism doesn't require endless sacrifice. It demands balance. To finish, recognizing weakness and asking for support isn't giving up, it's knowing your worth. So, what about you? Have you allowed yourself to be vulnerable today? Asked for help? Amid so much suffering, Subaru goes through a phase where he starts practicing something powerful: self-compassion. In one of the most emotional moments, he tells Emilia that even if she hates how weak she is, he loves her anyway. It's the act of accepting your own flaws, embracing yourself as you deserve, recognizing that love can exist even in imperfection. This gesture, though simple, carries huge weight. It's like Subaru saying, "I'm not perfect, but I still deserve love." This opens a space for him to internalize that his life has value too, not just the violent deaths that prove his existence. It's a crucial step toward emotional healing and a deeper understanding of himself. Still, he carries constant inner pressure, the idea that if he fails, his mistake echoes forever. This pressure comes from seeing the world collapse every time he resets with his power. The result is deep exhaustion, with real PTSD symptoms like nightmares, self-harm, and insomnia marking his suffering. Subaru also faces moments of harsh self-judgment. Even though he's incredibly brave, saving friends and facing danger, he hates and rejects himself. This harsh self-criticism not only isolates him, but erodes his self-esteem. But the turning point is emotional resilience. Learning that failure isn't the end, but a catalyst for growth, and asking for help is strength, not weakness. With support from Emilia, Rem, Beatrice, and others, Subaru builds a web of mutual support. He not only endures more, but learns to live for himself, not just for others. Even carrying severe trauma, this support helps reduce crises to episodes, and growth comes with patience, strategy, and teamwork. The message is clear. You don't have to fix everything alone. Self-compassion and support are real paths to grow without dying 1,000 times. Subaru went through an intense journey: failures, resilience, self-criticism, and dependence on others' support. But in the end, he comes out with something precious: redemption and forgiveness, especially forgiving himself, as he realizes he's grown, learned, and become a more human version of himself, not a perfect hero. He flips the classic hero trope. He's not the invincible chosen one, but the flawed chosen one who keeps going. As one article puts it, failing is part of growing, and giving up isn't defeat, it's a new starting point. There's beauty in his failures. He learns to act with empathy, accept help, and take responsibility for his actions. Each loop is like a life rehearsal. He reinvents his actions, analyzes consequences, and matures. True connection happens in the collective. What drives Subaru, believe it or not, is the affection he receives, especially from Rem, and that anchors him in dark times. It's reciprocity that builds his strength. And more, when he finally accepts that he loves himself, or at least recognizes his own value, something changes. He gains real motivation to keep going, not just empty heroism. If we bring this to our own lives, the lesson is clear. We don't have to die 1,000 times to learn. Our deaths can be a failure at work, a heartbreak, a huge mistake. Even so, it's possible to get back up, reflect, learn, and live lighter. When you fail, instead of punishing yourself, ask, "What did this teach me?" Write it down, share it, ask for help. Just like Subaru depends on Emilia and Rem, we grow together, not alone. Self-compassion isn't self-pity. It's owning the complexity of who you are. Saying to yourself, "I'm not perfect, but I'm here. Today, I can try again." That opens space for a life that's less tortured and more real. All of Subaru's transformation was only possible because he allowed himself to receive. Surround yourself with people willing to walk through your loops with you. And how about a practical plan now? Pick a moment today and ask yourself where you've been your own worst judge.